Have you ever had one of those moments where you're in the thick of a brilliant conversation with a hopefully future client, a really hot prospect? Everything's going brilliantly. You can see exactly how you can help. You've done a pretty good job of telling them how you can help them, and they can understand that. But then you find yourself in that space of being terrified of being too pushy. So you don't want to tell them exactly what you think they should buy, and you definitely don't want to ask them if they're ready to buy because you don't want to be pushy. So what you end up doing is saying something like, oh, there's loads of ways I can help. I'll send you an email with a few options. And then essentially you back away from having to do those tricky things like asking them if they'd like to buy or being really clear and articulate about exactly what you think they should buy. Now, there's a couple of key things going wrong here at this stage, and it's such an important stage in your process where so many potentially fabulous sales are lost. So this is week 5 of a 6-week series about how to build your brilliant sales process. And the key thing I want to talk to you today about is the end of that sales meeting, how you should make a recommendation and ask for the sale. Now, a lot of people at this point think that making a very clear recommendation, essentially saying, this is the perfect package for you, this is why it solves your problems, this is what it delivers for you, this is why I think you should buy it. A lot of people think that that is pushy and that what you should do is present the customer with various options and they can make the choice. But here's the crux of the matter. The customer is not the expert. They've come to you because you are the expert. They want you to make their decision making as easy as possible. If they have a choice of package A, B or C, now the onus is on them. How do they know which is the best one? What if they make a mistake? What if they make the wrong choice? All of a sudden, all of that comes into their decision making. Whereas the flip side of that is when you are able to clearly articulate the specific package that will help that customer and explain why that package relates exactly to what they've told you, their decision making becomes so much more simple. Then their decision is yes or no. And that is so much more likely to help them reach that decision. So the key thing for you to bear in mind here is it's your job to make a recommendation. This is you positioning yourself as the expert and saying with confidence, this is how I know I can help you. This is the exact solution to solve the problems that you have told me about. So the other crucial thing to bear in mind here is when you're in the thick of that conversation with this prospect, you have generated an emotional connection. You are in a deep rapport phase, you're getting on really well, and you've got a really strong connection. So that's the point where you want to talk about how you can fix their problem together or how you can achieve their goals together. And then all of that connection and that emotion becomes part of their decision making. If you send them an email or a proposal later, all of that feeling of connection is gone at that point, and all they're doing is looking at a document in black and white, maybe a logo of colour, but they're simply looking at logic, and they're very likely to then just focus on price, and it becomes a very logical price-focused decision. Whereas when you're in that meeting with them and you've got that emotional connection, they are far more likely to say yes because they are really tied up in the excitement and emotion of working with you. And this is not about manipulating them and finding them at a weak point. It's about helping them make the right decision for them. So you need to be able to very clearly articulate exactly what you do at the end of that meeting. And a couple of videos ago we talked about designing packages so that you can talk through them really simply. You potentially want something like a one-page document that almost acts as your own prompt, but it might also provide some visual clues for the prospect so they can follow along and really absorb what you're saying, and they can really get a grasp on the package that you are recommending to them. Again, simple. We love everything simple here. So one pager does not need to be long-winded. No graphs, no charts, no infographics. Doesn't need any of that stuff. It needs a couple of bullet points, a couple of sections. Really, really keep it simple. And then, of course, the crucial thing here is you must ask for the sale. I know this is the bit where people want to slide underneath the desk, but what you're doing here is you are providing everybody with absolute clarity, because there's nothing worse than leaving that meeting uncertain. And it's not the customer's job to tell you they want to buy. The onus of bringing that out into the open sits with you, not with them. You are the expert, you're in control, you're the supplier here. Make their life easy. Now, asking for the sale does not need to be complicated, doesn't need to be wordy, you don't need fancy techniques. You don't need 5 steps to overcome their objections or all that kind of stuff. You want a question that feels really comfortable to you. It feels relaxed, it feels natural, and it's in your language. So my question at this point in a meeting is, I've explained to the client exactly how I can help and exactly why I think this particular package is right for them. And then my question is, how does that fit with what you had in mind? So it's not a pushy buying question. It's not a price focused question. It's not how fast you want to get on with it. It's very soft, but it gives them the platform then they can, if they think it's too expensive, they can bring that out into the open. If they want some time, they can bring that out into the open. If there's something not sure about, they can ask more questions. So we get the conversation flowing and we steer that to a very clear decision. So we've got certainty and we've got clarity, and that works for both of us. So 2 big things to take from today is be the expert, always make a recommendation for exactly how you can help, and always ask them if they'd like to go ahead, if they'd like to move things forward, how it fits with what they had in mind. Would they like to get on board? So many different ways you can do it, and it's all about building brilliant relationships with brilliant clients who you can help in brilliant ways. If you know you need more help with this kind of thing, it's exactly the type of thing that I support my clients with. So get in touch with me at tailory.co.uk.